Problem number 6 asks us to solve this inequality, 8x plus 12 less than or equal to 60. So we'll treat this just as if it were a linear equation. We'll subtract 12 from each side. So that'll give us 8x less than or equal to, now 60 minus 12 is 48. Then we'll divide both sides by 8. I'll show that here. So it's going to be 48 over 8. And now, exclamation point, because I'm dividing, I put that exclamation point there just to alert me to the fact that I'm dividing through an inequality. And I know if I divide or multiply through an inequality by a positive number, no change in this direction. But if I multiply or divide by a negative number, this symbol would change directions. But we're dividing by a positive, so there's no problem here. So we're just going to get x less than or equal to 6. Now we can graph this solution. This is inequality form. What I've got right here is inequality form. We can graph the solution by drawing a number line, labeling it x, and then we'll come over, just pick any point, we'll label it 6, and because of the equal sign there, we're going to draw a closed circle. So I'll draw a closed circle and label that 6. And then we want all the x values that are to the left, right? To the less than 6. So we're going to get all of these values down here. So now we have the inequality form. We've got the graph form. Now here is the interval form. The interval form goes like this. The interval form, we're going to have left, comma, right. Lower bound, comma, right bound. And as we look at this problem here, the lower bound, well, there is no lower bound, right? It keeps going off to negative infinity. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller. So we're going to denote that by writing parentheses here. And we'll write negative infinity, comma, and then we come up to 6, and 6 is included. So we'll write a 6, and because it's included, we'll indicate that with a square bracket. So we've got all three forms here. We've got the interval form. We've got the inequality form, we've got the graph form, and we've got the interval form here. And the problem asks us to write this in interval form, so we're going to declare now that this is our solution. That's the right form. And here in problem number 7, we're going to solve this inequality where we have a strict inequality. So let's do this. Let's subtract 42 from each side. So doing so, this will give us negative 7x strictly greater than. Now if we subtract 42, we're left with a 21. Now what I'm going to do here is I'll say I'm going to divide by negative 7. Alert. We're dividing through an inequality by a negative, so this is going to be x is now less than, all right, 21 divided by negative 7 is going to be negative 3. So this is the inequality form, and we can graph this by drawing our number line, labeling it x, and we'll come and put a point at 3, at negative 3. So I'll put an open circle at negative 3, right? Open circle because we've got that strict inequality. Back over here in problem 6, we had a non-strict inequality, less than or equal to. The equal was there, so we included the point. But now the equal is not here, so the point negative 3 is not included, so we indicate that with an open circle, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw an open circle here at negative 3, and we still want all the points to the left. So here is the graph form, and now we can get the interval form by looking at lower bound, right? The lower bound, upper bound, lower, comma, upper, left, comma, right. So the lower bound here is negative infinity once again, comma, negative 3, but with a parentheses around it this time because this negative 3 is not included. And again, they're asking us for the interval form. So now what we're going to do is we're going to conclude that our interval form, the correct form, is this one right here.